Bridget, the Prime Minister has called this a fundamental new approach to closing the gap issue, but how is it being received by Aboriginal communities?
Laura, for a long time there was a collective eye roll when the Closing the Gap update would happen in Parliament, and that's because we heard for so many years, no progress, no progress, no progress, and every single target just about. And that was really dispiriting for people because it meant that people's lives were affected by the lack of action on so many key targets. I think there is a little bit of very cautious optimism now that these targets have been actually drafted by Aboriginal people themselves and that 50 different top Indigenous organisations are involved, but the devil is in the detail, and we need a serious amount of evaluation on programs that are working. We need states and territories involved in a proper way now, and we'll really see in the next few years whether or not some of those key indicators are starting to shift.
Well, we heard from elders from the stolen generation today who thought they'd never see justice. What does this announcement mean for them?
I don't think you can understate how emotional this day must be for people in the Northern Territory and the ACT who've been waiting literally their entire lives to be acknowledged and to get this kind of validation of what happened to them as children. And yet we know there are about 33,000 stolen generation survivors left in the country, Laura, and that number is growing. People are coming forward more and more, and there's no real cohesive national redress scheme. It's still very patchy. And so for people in other jurisdictions like WA and Queensland, they're still waiting, and many elders are dying before they see justice.
Well, the government's been promising more consultation on closing the gap, as we've been discussing, but we don't seem to be getting any further on the broader question of the voice. Time seems to be running out to legislate it this year. What does that mean to the momentum behind the push for a voice to go to a referendum?
That's right, and we heard Scott Morrison in the Parliament today. He wants to get it right. He doesn't necessarily want to be rushed on this process. The government signalled very clearly that this will be a legislated body, not enshrined in the Constitution, as all of those Aboriginal leaders at Uluru back in 2017 asked for and have been pushing for. They want a body that's frank and fearless, that can't be stripped away with the dash of a red pen. And so it means, I guess, that there's a lot of disappointment for those people that turned up in good faith at Uluru and very much wanted to see a referendum and think that that would be a really unifying moment for the country. Labor has said that it should be enshrined in the Constitution, or there is bipartisan support for a legislated voice. It does look like that will be the first step that happens, but it's certainly fair to say that there's a lot of disappointment among people that drafted that historic statement.
Bridget Brennan, thanks so much for the update.
Thanks, Laura.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.